Captain Carter recently became this super soldier who's not just breaking barriers, but also bending realities. So I guess it's the right time to unravel the mysteries, powers, and potential future of Peggy Carter, a character who's much more than just a love interest or a sidekick. From her roots in Earth 616 to her extraordinary transformation into a super soldier and her cosmic adventures with Infinity Stones, we're exploring it all. And of course, we'll dive into the big questions. How does she stack up against the likes of Captain America and Doctor Strange? Was she on her way to becoming an omnipotent figure like Strange Supreme? And what's her deal with the Watcher? So buckle up as we dissect every detail of Captain Carter's journey, powers, and what her future in the MCU might hold. This is going to be a wild ride through the multiverse and full of spoilers for What If Season 2, so watch out. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Just to give you a background, we will talk about Peggy from Earth 616. So, Peggy Carter, or Margaret Carter if you want to get formal, is kind of like Virginia royalty. Born in June 1920 in Richmond, Virginia, into the wealthy Carter family, she's got a pretty storied past. Growing up, she had her brother Harrison around, and as a teen, she fell hard for a young black guy. Sadly, the rough racial climate back then meant that relationship couldn't last. Later, Alexa Volkov from the Daughters of Liberty showed up and got her to join their ranks. She became a top-notch agent trained in all the spy stuff. When World War II broke out, Peggy headed to France to join the fight. Peggy Carter was also Captain America's girlfriend during the war. The US even had her guarding a secret lab disguised as an old store, which was actually the crib or the Super Soldier Project. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Despite being a badass soldier and a spy codenamed Agent 13, she couldn't stop a Nazi spy posing as Frederick Clemson from infiltrating the lab and taking out the professor behind the Super Soldier Serum. Peggy measures 5'10" and weighs around 140 pounds. She's got these striking blue eyes, and her hair, once blonde, has turned white. How did she become the super soldier? Peggy was at the Strategic Scientific Reserve Brooklyn facility with Steve Rogers, aka the future Captain America. She was only there to watch Steve's big transformation, but things got tense when Abraham Erskine, the brains behind the serum, asks her if she's cool with staying in the booth during the process. Peggy, giving Steve that look of love, decides to stick around. As Erskine starts his thing, Peggy's spy senses tingle. She spots a bomb planted by this bad guy, Heinz Kruger, but before she can act, the bomb goes off, killing several folks, including Erskine. Kruger tries to bolt with the serum, but Peggy's quick on the draw. Literally, she shoots him dead. Now, Steve's hurt in the chaos, and with the Vita-Ray chamber losing power, John Flynn tells Steve to hop back in, but Steve's in no shape to do anything. Flynn's getting all worked up and tells Howard Stark to get in the chamber instead, but Peggy grabs the serum, dashes to the chamber, and she takes the plunge herself. And guess what? It works. Peggy comes out of that chamber all transformed, taller, stronger, the full super soldier package, but John Flynn is fuming. He's all like, women don't belong in battle, totally dismissing Peggy's new super soldier status. Peggy, of course, is both angry and disappointed at this backward thinking. But hey, she's now a super soldier, and that's something Flynn can't take away. Does she have the ability to control minds? Peggy cannot control minds, but yes, she can definitely manipulate people by using their own insecurities and negative traits against them. If not, her unyielding sense of righteousness and dedication to her responsibilities often help her achieve the unachievable. Additionally, she is a spy, so she knows how to talk to people and fool them to get what she needs. So yeah, Peggy is quite the big deal in manipulation. Maybe not as great as the likes of Black Widow, but you cannot undermine Peggy's intelligence. What powers lie behind her formidable physique? Captain Carter, after getting the super soldier serum, turned into an absolute powerhouse. Her strength is pretty much through the roof. She can flip a Hydra truck like it's nothing, heave a motorcycle single-handedly, knock out a big guy in just 3 hits, rip out jail cell doors, and even shove a tentacle-wielding monster into a wormhole. And she does all this while barely breaking a sweat. But it's not just about muscle. Her durability is insane. She can take on the Hydra Stumper and not even flinch, and she's got the speed to back it up too. Carter's agility is something else. She's hopping over walls, sneaking into castles, and even carrying Howard Stark around, all while dodging danger left and right. And as far as her stamina is concerned, she doesn't really know the meaning of tired. She can keep up the fight for hours without showing any signs of slowing down, and as Steve would say it, she can do this all day. And we know that with great agility comes great reflexes. Her reflexes are super sharp. Dodging bullets is not really a big deal. She is always ready with her shield, but there's more to her than just physical prowess. Her mental game is just as enhanced. She thinks and reacts faster than ever before, but these are just her abilities as a super soldier. We haven't gotten to the part where she becomes something else entirely because of the Infinity Stones. What is the most powerful form of Captain Carter? And what if Season 2, Episode 9 things got really amped up anime style, just like the wild ride at the end of the first season? Sure, the build-up could have been better, but when Benedict Cumberbatch's universe-obliterating Sorcerer Supreme shows up, you know you're in for a show. Strange Supreme had this wild plan to juice up a universe forge using the power of superfolks to bring back his lost universe. Captain Carter, teaming up with Kahori, wasn't really in the mood to let Strange have his way. Strange had been hoarding some seriously tough heroes and villains with a plan to use their energy as fuel. With Kahori's help, she gets the Infinity Stones from Killmonger. With the stones embedded with her armor, she's not just a super soldier anymore, she's a cosmic force to be reckoned with. Armed to the teeth with Infinity Stones, Peggy's ready to rumble. She throws her shield, now glowing with Infinity Stone power, at Strange, showing off her newfound might. Despite being faced with dragons and all sorts of chaos thrown by Strange, Peggy was on top of her game. Her armor, supercharged with the stones, gives her the edge to take on these massive beasts. When Strange conjures an army of himself, she counters by replicating herself and Kahori to even the odds. When Strange changes his tactic by turning her duplicates into butterflies and sending Peggy into a flashback, she doesn't falter. She quickly snaps out of it, as Peggy and Kahori find themselves in a tug-of-war with Strange over the forge. Weapons from other heroes and villains like Thor's hammer and Wenwu's rings come into play. With these weapons, she becomes more powerful and literally punches the demonic Strange out of Sorcerer Supreme, which shows that she quickly learned to adapt to her new powers and use them effectively. Is Captain Carter's super soldier form more powerful than Captain America's? What if Episode 1, Captain Carter's super soldier form, is awe-inspiring? I've already spoken about stuff about vehicles and all. On top of that, she effortlessly plows through soldiers, downs planes, and even pushes back Shumagorath, a mega powerful magical being without breaking a sweat. Now, comparing her to Captain America, it's a bit of a different story. Throughout his arc, Cap's kind of learning on the job, figuring out what he can do as he goes along. Carter, though, she is all in from the start, using her powers like she's been doing this her whole life. Take their fights with Batroc, for instance. Cap gets a bit roughed up, but his martial arts skills pulls him through. Carter, on the other hand, dominates her fight, dodging blows and landing punch after punch. But hey, Captain America wielding Mjolnir? He might have the edge over Carter, but even then you can bet she'd still give him a run for his money. And if it's mystical and godly objects we're talking about, we saw the things Carter can do with Infinity Stone and other weapons, so in the grand scheme of things, Captain Carter's super soldier form seems to have a bit more oomph right from the get-go compared to Captain America's. But hey, that's what I feel, and you may of course differ, and if you're wondering if she's stronger than Strange, well, we've got you covered. Is she more powerful than Doctor Strange? Captain Carter is a super soldier with some serious muscle. She's like a one-woman army, flipping cars and jumping huge distances like it's no big deal. Thanks to her military and spy background, she's also sharp in battle, quickly adjusting to whatever curveballs come her way. But the real show begins when she gets her hands on that Infinity Stone armor. That's when she levels up big time, gaining the power to bend reality just like Doctor Strange does with his magic. Speaking of Strange, this guy's strength is all about his magic. As the Sorcerer Supreme, He's got skills that go way beyond the physical. We're talking traveling between dimensions, conjuring up all sorts of stuff, and even reshaping reality. Plus, he's always thinking a few moves ahead, which makes him a tough opponent to outsmart. His deep dive into the multiverse means he knows how to handle threats from all over. Now, if we're talking sheer physical strength, Captain Carter's got the edge hands down. But when it comes to magical might and versatility, Strange is in a league of his own. Without those Infinity Stones, Carter can't really touch Strange's magical tricks. However, when Carter gears up with that Infinity Stone armor, she's suddenly playing in Strange's league, maybe even outplaying him for a bit. But let's be real, that's a special case. Normally, Strange's magic, his strategic mind, and his cosmic know-how give him the upper hand.
Give him all you've got! Don't give him a chance to think!
Does she have healing ability? Captain Carter's got this incredible regenerative healing factor, all thanks to the Super Soldier Serum. It's like her body's on fast forward when it comes to healing and regenerating. Cuts and bruises are gone before you know it. She's immune to all those everyday diseases, and alcohol can't faze her, much like Captain America. And one more thing, she ages way slower than normal humans, all thanks to that serum.
Captain Peggy Carter, a warrior out of her own time. But then, she's used to that.
Can she talk with the Watcher? Will he empower her? Well, yes, she most certainly can speak to the Watcher. In fact, there are theories that the two of them may be up to something far too serious. So the finale of 2023's Loki was a turning point of an event which left Loki himself as the dude holding the multiverse together. And guess what? The multiverse we saw in What If Strange Supreme intervened is the same as the world tree of branched timelines from Loki. With all the craziness going down in the MCU multiverse, it looks like the Watcher might be stepping up his game. He doesn't really like meddling directly, but he could give Captain Carter a nudge by pointing out which problems he just can't ignore. So she could become a hero empowered by the Watcher, which would definitely give more meaning to the super in her superhero. Marvelous verdict. Captain Carter is practically walking down a path similar to Strange Supreme. Remember, Strange Supreme thought he was doing the right thing by plucking beings from doomed timelines, but you know the saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Sure, Peggy hasn't gone down the dark path of absorbing evil forces, but having the fate of the universe on your shoulders is heavy stuff, even for the best of us. Imagine if Peggy and the Watcher doesn't see eye to eye. Suddenly she might end up like Strange Supreme, someone who needs to be reined in. Peggy's as morally solid as they come, like the OG Steve Rogers from 616, but even Cap made some iffy calls. More likely than not, Peggy teaming up with a Watcher is just setting the stage for Season 3, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see her jump into the live-action scene in Secret Wars. But as cool as that sounds, let's hope she keeps her moral compass in check while hopping through the multiverse. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.